Hello and welcome. My name is Tolola Falashe, and this is Decrypting Relationships. And we have with us today, everyone
Olu Benson.
Yeah, Olu, go on. Yep.
Yeah.
Maria Doya.
Friday.
And I'm David.
Thank you, David, for giggling, because everyone just sounded so kind of like,
Serious.
I don't know,
Yeah,
tired.
we have to have fun with it.
Are you off? Oh, maybe it's the aftermath of Valentine's, because that's what we're going to talk about today. So maybe everyone's jaded from the whole Valentine thing. Maybe, I don't know. But anyway, before we talk about today's topic, we just want to make a quick disclaimer that we are not experts. We don't give any relationship advice. We are just stating our positions on relationships and how to make them as healthy as possible. Okay, so Olu, over to you. What are we talking about today?
I think you already broached the topic. We are talking about the relevance of Valentine's Day to relationships at different stages of the relationships, but more importantly, maybe to the younger relationships.
Okay.
So, especially considering we just finished one. We literally just got out of the Valentine's season, absolutely, so to speak. Absolutely. So it's almost like you said earlier, doing like a postmortem of Valentine's Day.
Absolutely. Okay, do you know what we'll do? Let's do a round table, because Olu, you introduce yourself first. Maybe you're going to go first. I'm going to ask you a question. What is your earliest recollection of your first Valentine experience, and how did it make you feel?
Boy, you were talking like 30 years ago now. Recollection? Oh, that's kind of faded. Well, if I can think back to that, I think the notion of the excitement of it, the first time you actually had somebody that you were in a relationship with, because my husband was literally my first love and really the only love. So when you then had this person and it was Valentine's Day and the expectations were there, I think, like, oh, I was going to get a card, I was going to get this, because years gone by, every girlfriend you had always got a card except you. You just, kind of like sat around because you knew nothing was coming for you. So to now think, oh, this time I'm going to get one. So our expectations were quite moderate, because we didn't want, an earth-shattering gift. We just wanted a card to acknowledge. And back home then, you hardly even got a bouquet of flowers. We didn't have florist shops. So
we had flowers. Yeah, go. Okay. So cool. So from what I'm hearing, it was more, there was sort of like a societal thing going on there where, people would have, get cards, maybe not necessarily expensive gifts, but just acknowledging that someone, is out there, that, you're young and maybe you're excited that someone out there, thinks you are cool and maybe they like you or whatever, right?
Yeah, okay. That was the whole notion of it, just an acknowledgement of
yes,
however they felt about you. Yeah.
Okay, so fast forward to now. What would you say your attitude is towards Valentine's Day?
I think as I've got older and my life is established with my husband, I really don't think, because back then it was also a sense of validation that somebody actually cares for you. At this stage of my relationship, almost 30 years on, I'm not sure, I need that kind of validation for him to break a bank to do that, because, on other occasions, there are other ways with maturity that you expect an expression of love and appreciation. I'd rather you told me regularly that you love me and you appreciate me than wait for one day of the year to go and break a bank to, bombard me with gifts. So my expectation of appreciation has shifted to a more mature space where I just need you to regularly tell me I'm okay with words, and your actions need to follow your words, because actions speak louder than words. So that's really where my headspace is at. So I'm not too keen on, of course I don't mind. I love good things. I'm not knocking them. I love good things, and I have very, very good tastes. So when they come, they're not the be all and end all of my expectations. It's what you've done throughout the year up until then that actually makes whatever you present to me on that day count.
Okay, interesting. Thank you for sharing that. I was before I ask Lanre to maybe answer the same question. What's your first, if you, your first recollection of Valentine's? How did you, were you excited, and what's your attitude to it now? I just wanted to just ask only one last question. Do you feel that, or have you experienced, or maybe even heard that perhaps, say a couple obviously in a relationship, and maybe the relationship isn't going too well, but the lead up towards Valentine's Day, then maybe the lady, for example, is then beginning to act more, I don't know, nicely, I don't know, towards the guy, because obviously she wants a wonderful Valentine's and she's like, okay, I need to butter him up. Is this something that is there anything can you talk to this? Can you talk about into that point actually?
I'm not sure I've experienced that because I really don't discuss Valentine's Day with people because
Mm,
it's your preference. And like I said, with maturity, your expectations do shift. And I personally wouldn't expect anyone to want to play that kind of mind game because if the person doesn't really care about you, any fool, like I've always told my husband, any fool can get you a gift. It takes a considerate person to stop in their strides regularly to acknowledge that they love you.
okay, cool.
Anybody can send anybody to get you, go and spend $10,000 and get me the most expensive thing for my wife.
Mm,
There's no thought to that because it's just that one day. What do you
okay,
do? They're on the remaining 364 days of the year. That's just my take. So yeah, I
sounds good.
don't know if that does anything.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Larry, what about you? Tell us what was your first Valentine's Day? What was that like? I know it's a bit putting you on the spot, like I put all on the spot, but tell
Mm.
us, was it
First
what
Valentine's.
was it? What was the feeling? What was going through your mind? And
My first Valentine's was probably with my parents. So it was like my dad taking my mom out, but with the
no, your first Valentine with
oh,
somebody,
personally,
not
oh,
your
Don't be
mom
funny,
and
personally.
man.
dad.
Okay, cool. My first Valentine's was with like a girl that I knew from school back
Mm,
then. She was one of the more popular girls. So like obviously word would go around that who's taking who on Valentine's, where they're taking who. So to say I was nervous is a lie because I was very nervous because I'm not what I am now. But obviously, it was a good date. I just took her to a nice restaurant,
mm,
uh, bought her flowers, and that was it really. Nothing too special. But now, like, I could care less about Valentine's Day because Valentine's Day is just another day. And as Auntie said, as long as you tell your partner you love them every day,
mm.
show that you love them every day. Why should one day be an exception? So for me, this Valentine's that just gone, I was just chilling at home, just watching people's relationships just crumble.
Mm, mm, mm. Interesting. And Larry, thank you for kind of like, and I do apologize. When I said your first Valentine's, I didn't mean as a baby, as in
Yeah,
your first 14th of February. What I meant was your
sure.
first date, like your first Valentine date, what? Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Cool,
that's
cool.
cool.
Okay, that's cool. Who wants to go next? David or Corey? Or Corey, who wants to go next?
Mine was gonna be short, so I don't mind.
Go on then.
I think I know this one. Hey,
Personally, I've never had a Valentine's.
why you lying?
Um,
Never,
Why you
never.
lying? Don't
I've
lie.
never,
Never.
Don't
I've
You've
lie,
never,
never
I've
bro.
taken a
Don't
girl
lie.
out on the 14th of February.
Nigga, don't,
never.
bro, don't care.
Okay.
I've had girlfriends, but I've never
No, of
taken them
course,
out
of
on
course, of course.
the 14th
Valentine's
of
Day.
Feb. Yeah, I've never done anything for Valentine's. That's just me personally.
So
So
why?
David, let me interrupt you. While you were dating, and on the 14th, when the 14th of February came round, did you have a girlfriend on a Valentine's Day? And if so, what?
Mostly not.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask.
In my past relationships, I have like bought my ex trainers or taken her out to the movies
Hmm,
or just buying food or doing anything simultaneously, not just on Valentine's that I have to give you this. Like I'll just go out my way to do it sometimes. That's just me.
okay. And so, what's your attitude towards Valentine's now? Valentine's Day.
I think is slightly pointless because nowadays, for people of my age, they just see it as a day that I should get this, I should get this. And then social media plays a part because you see people who have money, who have fame, they go all out sometimes. Like Michael B. Jordan and Laurie Harvey, he got a private aquarium, all of that, flowers. Then now you have girls saying, if he wants to, he will, all of this, all of that. As long as you know that I'm your girlfriend, husband, whatever, and you're committed, then why does one day matter more than the 364 other days?
Very good point. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah.
I'm starting to, sorry to interject, I'm starting to think the guys on the spot are way too sensible for what we're trying to get out there.
No, let's hear them out. Let's hear them out.
No, I just think that is a thing of, honestly, I wouldn't say it's bad to expect a present. I don't think it's bad, but at the same time, me personally, I don't see it as a joint effort. Like nowadays, I'm just seeing the female's being given the gift. You hardly see the male getting showered with, I don't know if man wants flowers, or if it's just simple chocolate, maybe trainers and all of that. So to me, it's just a day that I must have to spend money on that girl. And regardless if I know if me and her are still going to be a couple after Valentine's, I still have to spend money, because if I don't, she's going to think, oh, I don't love her, because now all her friends are going to be gonna snap, oh my God, look what he got me. And then now that's when the comparison starts, like, oh, why can't you be like him? He got his girl this. It's just not worth it.
Preach it, bruv. Now let me ask a question to the man then, yeah. How much what's the limit you would spend on a Valentine's Day? Like in terms of money wise?
Wait 2 seconds.
Because I got asked this question the other day.
Okay.
Will that not be relative to your earning power?
So what percentage of your
exactly.
Me,
guys, answer it. Yeah, if it's a valid question, since it's a valid question, please go ahead.
Can I skip the answer if I don't think it's a valid question?
Yeah, well, Corey doesn't want to show he's a rich man.
Exactly.
That's smart. That's smart. I see it.
Larry,
go, Corey. I'm all for a generous hearted.
Nah, answer the question. Don't be shy.
No. Before we answer that question,
it's not valid.
It's valid. Corey, if you had a girlfriend and she's asking you how much are you gonna spend, what are you gonna say?
Larry, just want if we wait 1 second, I just hear Corey Day's story. If he doesn't mind sharing, right? And again, you can give us as little or as much detail as you want about your experience. Okay, your very first date on Valentine's Day. Was it meaningful to you, and what's your attitude to it now?
No, I'm the same as David. I don't have a story to share.
Okay. You choose not to share.
Why are you laughing? I don't understand.
Do you choose not to share, or you don't have one to share?
You are shy.
I don't have a story to share.
Okay.
Oh, swear. In your 20 years of living.
Yeah, in my 20 years of living. 20 years is a long time, you know?
Yeah, 2 decades.
Trust me.
And you're telling me you've not had one Valentine's Day in 20 years?
No,
David, he's trying to make us feel bad because we're not like you.
No.
You know,
Larry, Janice, I feel like because of past relationships, Larry knows what happened in it. But
yeah.
I feel like during my past relationships, it's like, yeah, I've gotten this and this and this for you, but you still don't
appreciate
it don't satisfy you.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So
you're gonna
go look for it somewhere else.
Right. So is it a
So
thing
regardless if I do it on Valentine's or not, most of the times, 9 times out of 10, you're not gonna stay in that relationship with me.
Okay, guys,
you're just gonna go look for it somewhere else.
Guys, I'm starting to sense a kind of a pattern in the conversation that's going on in terms of the reason. It's almost sounding like the reason you guys are not that keen on Valentine's is really because the girls aren't generous. Because David, you made a very vivid point earlier with regard to the girls get spoiled and the guys hardly get looking. So what if you are dating an equally generous girl who actually goes out of her way to spoil you from time to time? Would your view on Valentine's Day differ?
100%.
Yeah. Of course,
so it's
because
really
I feel like
because a relationship is a partnership. Do you know what I mean?
It's about you
It's
get
not
So
back
about
the
be
money.
energy
really,
that you
so
put
your
in.
take then isn't really about Valentine's Day. It's really about the whole relationship and who you're going out with. If this person was not generous, it doesn't matter whether it's Valentine's Day or any other day, then that kind of dictates your attitude towards spoiling them. Really, is that right? Would that be a right conclusion?
50-50.
I think for me, I just want to know, like going on to David's point, for me, it's always finding out whether they're genuine or not. Like if they genuinely feel a type of way about me in terms of a relationship or whatnot. Not just because I am spoiling you with gifts or I'm getting you gifts is why you're staying around. So, and half the
100%.
time, and half the
It's a thing
time,
of, sorry
go
to
on,
cut you off, Larry.
no, go
I
on.
think that is a thing of a false narrative because at the same time, it's a thing of, if I go out my way, so let's say I spend £50 on a girl for Valentine's,
She will hate
yeah?
you.
God forbid I ever do that, but you know, £50 on a girl for Valentine's. And then next year, you're going to think, oh, he's already done £50. This time he's going to do more. So she's probably thinking 75 or 100. And the thing is, maybe I don't have that money. Maybe I do. I would never do it. That's just me. But it's a thing of certain people only like you for what you bring or the lifestyle that you bring. Because I've been in relationships where I've done the most. Like I'll take you out. I'll buy you trainers. I'll do this and do this, and then you still end up getting cheated on. So with me, it's a thing of, is it really worth it to just spot a girl on one day? Just one day, like, why does this one day mean so much? Like, I do understand it, but then at the same time, just in my generation, I don't understand it because I feel like my generation don't understand what love is. That's just me personally.
Okay. And that's a rather serious and even deeper troubling issue.
Can I just share what I just heard from everyone, chime in a little bit? I think David mentioned a word that resonates. So there's a narrative out there that on the 14th of February, if you are maybe not compliant, but socially, it is expected that you take your girl out and you treat her right, and that is a narrative. And I think perhaps society has not actually sat down to question why that is there. Like there are a lot of things we do in life that we never really ask, okay, what's the purpose and what's the meaning of this? It's just, oh, if you don't do it, then maybe you're tight or you are, you're not a nice person or whatever. But I think maybe that's a narrative that a lot of people are pushing back on and saying, why does one day define who I am as a person? As an equal partner in a relationship. So I think maybe that's another issue that has come out in this discussion.
Going back to my question,
okay,
what is the max you lot would spend on a Valentine's Day?
Do you want me to go?
Anyone can go.
The max. The max.
Yeah. Like, what's the cutoff point? Like, like that's a bit too much money.
Jeez. I feel like it depends what stage of the relationship you're at. Because if I've been with that person for like 2 years or a year, in fact, you might spend more than you would if you've only been in that relationship for like a couple months. Do you know what I'm saying? Because essentially you're just saying how much is that person worth? Because that's how they're gonna view it as well. Oh, you only got me a £6 flour from Tesco, so I'm worth £6 to you now. But I don't feel like there's a cap. I just feel like it's the thought. Like, do you know, like when you're in a relationship, you're gonna know what your partner likes. So you might go out your way to get what they like. Do you know what I'm saying? Whether it's costly or not, but it might be the little things for them that is worth much more than you spending £100 or whatever.
Cool. Uncle?
Okay, so it's now you said you got asked that question, Larry.
Yeah.
All right. So in what context? Just before we go further.
It was just a thing where like he didn't know what to get her,
I see.
and he was just like, to be fair to him, he's got a lot of money, but he was like, he didn't know what the max was. So my question was to everyone, okay, cool. What's the max? Like, what's the cutting off point? You'd be like, okay, I spent a bit too much money, or this isn't. But obviously, that doesn't kind of tell the love you have for your wife or your girlfriend. It's just, this is how much I'm willing to spend.
Yeah. So again, like Olu said earlier on, she said how it really depends on your bank balance. It depends on your wages type thing, or your credit card, what's available, your credit card, for example. And I personally would advise against going into any kind of like debt to impress anybody. Okay. But if I would challenge the question, but if I was to advise that person, for example, I would just say, listen, it's not so much how much you spend on her, is how much do you know about her to find out what she would value.
Facts.
So if you know enough about her to know what she values, then you can then that's the next step. Then okay, what is it that she values, and okay, what quality, how far do I want to go without tipping the scales, you understand? So that's how I would approach it. I wouldn't really put a numeric figure on it. And I know a girl, I knew a girl at university. She said, look, she doesn't like flowers for Valentine's. She doesn't like cards. She just wants to go, I don't know, to the movies, or just spend time, quality time, with
simple.
So if you know that about that person, and you get all the flowers and the chocolates and the cards, she's just gonna be like. So I guess this is where communication comes in. Get to know the person, and then you gauge what is meaningful for that person. That's the way I would answer that question.
Okay. Corey.
Yeah, similar to what Uncle said, like the question is not valid if you don't like look at those, like the material side of it rather than the sentimental, emotional, etc. Because those are that's the important part of the dynamic. So like, I don't have an answer to the question, but it's more like, what does that thing mean to the other person, or what does it mean to you to give up that thing for the other person?
Cool. So the vibe I'm kind of getting is like more of like sentimental kind of things that actually mean something.
Well, it depends.
Not even like that. Like, it's fine to spend the money if you can, but it's the sentiment behind it, not about the amount you put into it. Rather than, you understand what I mean? Like, like spending £500 could be a quote unquote flex, but there's no sentiment behind it. It's just a gesture. But if the gesture is backed with emotion and love and compassion, then that's like the more important side of the question. Like, how much emotion, for love did you put into this £500 something? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear that. Cool.
Unless you're going out with someone who is more maybe superficial in their approach, and again, it's not a judgment. It's just like, I mean, David said it already, that you could spend a lot of money on someone, and then a few days later they bounce, or they do what they just go their own way type thing, cheat, whatever. That's superficial. They've taken your gifts and everything. You spend a lot of money, but it meant nothing to them. You understand? So you could spend £10,000, and the person still walks away because it didn't mean anything to them. Or if you get to know them, the kind of person they are, you connect deeply, then what you give them would have meaning. You understand? So it's not so much emotional or sentimental, but meaning. What does it mean to the person? That's my thing.
Oh, cool.
Auntie hasn't answered.
Yeah, sorry.
No, I think I already laid my cards on the table earlier, but to a more was a more useful point that I want to put out. I think this is where, I think in one of our episodes we already touched on it, on why there should be some areas that people talk about when they're in a relationship. And it's not just about the physical, because if you guys are really taking the time to know each other, as opposed to, oh, you're so hot, you look wonderful on my hands, or whatever, you would have, pulled out one or two qualities about this person. If they're very superfluous, then you'll know whether or not they're the kind of people you want to go with, because you would have sensed it from this person that whatever, well, however much you spend on them, it's not really about you, it's about what they can get. So in that case, you manage that relationship, and if you want to get out of it or not even bother. But if you're with this person for so long and you have no clue what makes them tick, then you should start questioning what exactly you are doing in that relationship. So I think it's also about making sure you understand each other and you know each other beyond the physical, and then you can start understanding what really matters to them. Because like Tolu said, I'm not the one, you can win me over by spending money on me. I love good things, I love expensive things, but those are not the things that make me tick. You could spend $1 million on me. If you don't treat me right, your $1 million is nothing, because really, I can't be bought by whatever. And that is where you need to understand the person you're dealing with. For me, like I said, I love being spoiled with gifts, but the gifts are not what I'm looking for. I need your action. I need you to care. I need you to be there. I need you to listen. I need you to let me know, you value me. Those are really what matters. So when those gifts come, they're almost like the icing on the cake. They're not the cake itself.
Very good, very good. I've got a question for David. David, are you with us? So, David, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, cool. So, David, let me ask you a question, right? Because I just want to paint a scenario to you, and see what you think about this question. Of course, we can open up to everybody else as well. So, you meet this girl, and she ticks all the boxes. You understand? She understands you. She respects you. She actively listens to you, because she can relay your hurt. She knows your passions and everything, and you have a really good connection with this girl. But the only thing is, she's intelligent. She's just the right profile of person that you'd like to be with long term. But what if the only thing that maybe is a bit of an issue for you with her is that she values Valentine so dearly? How would you what's the word I'm trying to look for? How would you then try to navigate that situation and maybe bring her to see things from how you view Valentine yourself? How would you approach that?
Damn.
Think about this. Think about the answer first, Bev.
Of course. I think at some moment, whether it's before or during the relationship, we would have probably had a talk about certain things like Valentine's, all of that. But I feel like if I feel that she's perfect for me and everything like that, then I would go out my way to treat her for Valentine's. Because I have no problem spoiling a girl or who I'm with. It's not a problem for me. It's just, would you appreciate it, and does it mean anything long term? Because I can buy you trainers today, and then you can turn around and be like, you know what? I don't think this is gonna work. All of that. So in my head, it's like, oh, you just wanted the trainers, you just wanted something from me. But if she's the right one, or feels like the right one, then I might have to sacrifice and get her something.
So what I'm hearing is, it's not about Valentine's Day. It's just about celebrating, or even just celebrating with the person that you care about. They care about you. It's Valentine's Day. You value Valentine. So you know what? Yeah, let's do something Valentine's Day, because I know that you mean something to me and I mean something to you, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so is the meaning. Okay, all right. Makes sense. Thank you.
Want to answer?
Huh?
I said, does anyone else want to answer that question that Uncle proposed to me?
For me, I was just gonna quickly ask is to you, how do you know if she's the one though?
Why is everyone asking questions today?
Because it's your first time on here, you know what I mean?
I think, I feel like there's different ways of knowing if that's the person for you. I feel like let's say Okay, I'll put this scenario. So I'm at uni now.
Mm.
Let's say she's at another uni or the uni above. It's like whenever you see that person,
Mm-hmm.
it's like you get them butterflies. So let's say you've been down for that whole week.
Mm.
You've just been feeling not yourself. But as soon as you see that person, they bring the joy out of you, if that makes any sense. Like you're just like you can just be yourself around them,
Mm-hmm.
if that makes sense. Like it just feels like you've known that person maybe your whole life or whatever, but there's different ways. Maybe you can't go a certain amount of days or hours or whatever without talking to that person. I don't know. There's a lot of ways.
Mm. I think then the question is posed to the more experienced people.
Yeah.
You know, how do you guys know? Like, when did you know that your husband and wife were for you? Like, and how is that feeling?
I think David kind of touched on some of the basics because there has to be a very deep rooted attraction in terms of your heart just longing for this person. But that also, if you're not careful, could just be an attraction that's not deep. But there's a deeper sense of peace and just being at home per se with this person that you just feel there's no reason for any pretext. I don't have to try and make up what I'm not. You know, what you see is what you get. You know, I'm not scared to wake up in the morning looking or seeing you in the morning. You know, if I came to your house first thing in the morning without any makeup, I don't have to feel like you're going to slam the door in my face.
That's a big problem for girls these ages as well.
Sorry?
That's a big issue for
exactly because there's a lot of insecurity behind, you know, a lot of people slamming so much on their faces so they look different and when they're awake. But that's besides the point. It's just when someone says you're home, you just feel like this is home for you. And the thought of feeling of finding somebody else attractive at that level is almost nauseous to you. You can't just imagine yourself being with somebody else when this person is there. It's just, really? I really don't think. And there's just that, I don't know, I don't know if I'm articulating it well, but there's just something about I'm done. Like, this is it for me. You have that conviction in your heart and in your, just everything about you just seems to think, okay, this is it. I am settled here. This is literally my bus stop. And then we can look to start working on this to build a future. So thinking of breaking up or, we might not be together. And then before you know, you're talking about the future. It's almost like the next thing to talk about. You unconsciously just get into conversations about what we're doing, where we're going, your dreams, and blah, blah, blah. They just become natural conversations as opposed to forced or making them sound like it's an inquisition. Like, what are your plans for the future? And you're thinking, why do you want to know? Like, so, you know, even you offer those information because you're thinking, this is it. It just, there's something that clicks in you. Because we all have our intuition. So you would have that just tells you, this is it. Otolu, from a male viewpoint, because you guys seem to know quicker than women sometimes. So what do you say to it?
No, I agree. I mean, all of the above, you know, is someone you want to spend a lot of time with, you know, you can see yourself, you know, hanging around this person. They understand you, they get you to some extent. One thing I will add though is, and sometimes it's difficult to know this until maybe it's too late and maybe you're married, but can you deal with their quirkiness? Do you know that part of them that isn't so, I guess, pleasant? And different people have different aspects, you know. So if you're able to discover that on time and you think, you know what, I can definitely live with that, then that's cool, you know. But if you can't, I mean, I dated a girl one time, then I just found out this girl was very shady, man. She was playing mind games with everyone, you know, and you know, it's like, and I found out that she gets a kick from she got kicks from making me jealous. So she would flirt with other guys just to get me jealous. I would react in a certain way. Now, I couldn't deal with that, right? I couldn't deal with that. So those kind of things, and she did genuinely like me, but she just wanted me to always pursue her. And maybe it was a huge issue, maybe something she had unconsciously, subconsciously, I don't know. But I noticed that. And when I confronted, we spoke about it. Eventually, I found out that that's what she was trying to do. She just wanted to she wanted to stir me up to get, and I was
Keep you
thinking,
on your toes.
I'm like, yo, that's hard work, that is hard work. No thank you, but no thanks. That's a silly example, but the examples like that, I'll share a personal one with you very quickly. I mean, I got married, and towards the mid part of my marriage, I noticed that, my wife, she'll do her hair really nicely, but she'll pack it up and use a rubber band, to hold it up. And I'm like, honey, it's beautiful. I love your hair, but the rubber band just doesn't work. Can you lose the rubber band, And she'll be like, look, get used to it. Larry's laughing because she knows what my wife is like. And the thing is, it's that's her quirkiness, and it's like, oh, hey, listen, it's all good, So it's definitely, someone you would see yourself spending the rest of your life with, and you can, you like to be with them, but also that part of them that maybe is questionable, perhaps, it's, you just feel, well, you know what, I can definitely live with that. That's no biggie. It's no problem. Some people could be arguing, some people could be losing temper. Maybe they have a really, really bad temper and you're thinking, nah, I can't be dealing with this. Or, you know what? It's okay. I love you enough to deal with your temper. So I think that's just the balance that I would say to strike. Cool. So we've touched on, Valentine's and, the meaning and the significance. I think we got somewhere decent. I think it's not really so much about the day itself. It's about spending quality time with the person that you care about and who also cares about you. I think that's very, very important. We're talking about healthy relationships. I almost always evaluate and gauge how much we're getting back for what we are giving, not because it's a transaction, but because it's fair. And that's what makes it healthy. And it comes from having these conversations and talking openly about it. So that's my quick summary. I don't know if anybody else. Oli, do you want to have a quick summary?
Yeah, I think my advice would be that people should not get hung up or worked up about Valentine's Day. Because if you're in a very healthy relationship, there shouldn't be any reason why the two of you shouldn't be open enough to express your feelings or your take on Valentine's Day, and then come to a compromise. That's what relationships are about. So I would just encourage people to talk about it. If you're not feeling comfortable about something, just be open enough and honest enough to let the other person know how you feel, and whatever your misgivings or your reasons are, you could talk through them and come to a healthier ground to resolve it. So yeah, Valentine's Day should be celebrated. I know if people want to, and if you don't want to, you shouldn't get knocked down for it. So yeah, happy Valentine's Day for the future for those who love to celebrate it.
Nice one. Larry, any last thoughts?
Same as Auntie, really. But me personally, I don't celebrate Valentine's. The only person I'll send flowers is my mom, and that's it. And just always be true to yourself. So if you know you don't want to celebrate Valentine's, but your girlfriend is forcing you, as Auntie said, have the conversation and just be true to yourself. If you don't want to send her flowers or don't want to get anything, you don't have to. But you can show her you can show your other half you love them in different ways other than buying them gifts and giving them flowers. Because Valentine's Day is just one day out of the whole year. It's like any other day. So don't worry.
Nice. Thank you. Corey, you've been very quiet. What are your thoughts? I know you've been probably active listening, but what? Yeah.
I've been pondering.
Good. Last thoughts.
Last thoughts. Very similar to Auntie. I think just make sure that whatever you're doing in your relationship, no matter what the time of year is, it's like from a place of love and like selflessness and not about the image you're portraying or the materialistic side of that. Yeah.
Do it for the right reasons.
The right reasons, exactly.
Yeah. Lovely. Thank you. And David?
I think everyone has summed up what I was going to say. But just to add, I just feel like if you're going to do it or buy someone a gift, just make sure it's not out of pressure from them. Just make sure that it's like you genuinely wanting to get that person something, not that it's Valentine's Day, I must do it, I must do this. It's not a must. If your heart wants to do it, then do it by all means, but don't get pressured into doing it. And make sure she's the right girl.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
That's very wise. That's very wise. I think pressure is a red flag. If you're feeling pressured.
Sorry, just to put something out there, because it looks like the girls are being dissed here. And I know I am aware of some generous girls.
We've come to the end of the podcast.
No diss.
So my final words on behalf of the girls who are generous, because I know girls who just call their man and who do care for them genuinely.
We can find some. Please send them our way because we cannot find any.
Well, you haven't seen you've only seen a very small portion of the world so far in your young years.
Maybe they're back in Africa. Maybe I'm just in the wrong continent.
So, shout out to the girls who actually do care for their men. No, we're not dissing you here. I am holding out the flag for you guys. I'm an older generation person and I do celebrate my man. And I know there's some younger girls who do too. It depends on how they've been raised. So for those who do, please do it because you care for your men and not because there's pressure for you to do something. And if you're not, feeling it, let your partner know. It's all about the communication. But please don't do things under pressure that then end up having no meaning at all. And then you've wasted time, money, and valuable resources doing things that your heart isn't really in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And don't be comparing your pairs. Don't be
don't
Sam's
compare
boyfriend got her
relationship.
that. Why can't you get me this?
Because you saw my man do this. No.
That's
different.
never healthy in any phase of any relationship anyway, whether young or old. Doing a comparison is a no-no. So that is just it. On any level, it's a no-no. When you start hearing that, it's a red alert.
Maybe that's going to be next week's topic because...
It could be.
Some of you people out there.
Okay, thank you guys. I think the message is loud and clear. We must keep communications line open and be honest, be open about things. Don't do things under pressure. Just do it from an open heart. And ladies, you're listening out there. We guys love you. We don't, we have no group. We hold no grudges. It's just that you only have representative here, and she's doing the very best she can. But we love you all.
Shout out Black Queens, man.
That's right. We do. And of course, I guess Valentine by nature, I think it's not expected for the women to spoil the men, and I think that's why we've not really talked about women spoiling men. But anyway, on that note, we will be back with you next time. And from all of us, is goodbye. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.